Hare Krishna, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. We are moving forward and moving on very fast. I'm just going to post the link on ISKCON Columbus so that everybody can join us. Forums. We'll be singing a very beautiful song today. It's called, well, the rendition of it, I don't know, but but the composition itself is very very beautiful. So I will just forward it to everybody I know. Srimad. Okay. Let me just share my screen real quick. Are you guys able to see this? One person can say yes. Hare Krishna, can everybody hear me? Hello? Am I audible? Can someone confirm that? No? Okay. Let me just confirm. Appa, am I audible? Okay. Okay, I confirmed that I was audible. So we will sing this song and then we'll read the translations and have a little discussion on it. The song's name is called Ke Jhabi Ke Jhabi Bhai Bhava Sindhu Par. This is a song by Lochan Das Thakur. I was inspired to sing this song because Lochan Das Thakur was saying his disappearance day or appearance day was just recently. So it's one of my favorite songs. And the language is Bengali. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So read this song, one of my favorite songs ever. So I can read the first one. So this is all in the form of a story, and see if you can catch the story. Number one, who will go? Who will go, brothers? Who will cross over this ocean of material suffering? This Kali Yuga in which Sri Chaitanya Avatar has appeared is blessed. Chaitanya Avatar does not come in every Kali Yuga. Somebody else want to read number two?
Sure, Prabhu, I can read. At the bathing place of my Gauranga, a free ferry boat is waiting. There is no restriction. Everyone is coming, including the lame, blind, and distressed, and all are climbing aboard to cross over.
Number three, anyone? I can read number three then. Harinam is the boat, Sri Guru is the helmsman, and the Sankirtana party moving with upraised arms are the oars. Number four, anyone?
सबा जीव हैला पारा प्रेमेर वातासे पदिया रहिला लोचना अपनारा लोसे. All souls can cross over the favorable winds of prema. Only Lochandas is so unfortunate that, due to his own fault, he has been left behind.
Hmm. So anybody have any reflections on what we've just read? It's a very, very heartfelt song. Um, does anybody have any reflections? So you see how Lochandas Thakur is employing the use of these different metaphors that even Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur used in his writings. He used to say um, Nadia Godrume Nityananda Mahajan, that there's a song Patiache Nam Hate Jiva Karan, the holy the marketplace of the holy name was an important concept. And then he would say who is the seller, who is the buyer, what's the currency, and stuff. And he would use his metaphors. So Lochandas Thakur is employing the exact same thing, and he's saying that we're on a boat, and Lord Chaitanya is Sri Guru is the helmsman, right? It said there's no at the bathing place of Goranga, a ferry boat is there. Everybody's climbing over. Sri Guru's the helmsman. He's taking care of the boat, and the Sankirtan party, when the chanting of Hare Krishna is there, upraised arms. Those are the oars that are going to move the boat, and then all the souls. What's the wind that's going to help the boat is prema, and the only one left back out of his own humility, he's saying only Lochan Das is so unfortunate that due to his own fault he has been left behind. So that is Lochan Das Thakur's humility. He says, I can't get a place on that boat. So anybody else have any reflections on this
It's
song?
such a deep, prayers. We all know that how to cross over. What is the vehicle that will take us over? But it's still so. It's all like everyone is included, lame, blind, distressed.
Yeah.
Just all you have to do is step on the boat. That's all. So he's like begging, begging everyone. Just get on it. Just get aboard. And um, yeah, it's just only less intelligent. Obviously, will say no. I don't want to go.
If the lame and blind have a shot, then we have good standing. And so Lochan Das Thakur is giving it's a very metaphorical scene, and it's very
Mhm.
nice. So we will end our study of the songs of the Vaishnava Acharyas for this week. We'll move on to the next part of the program, which is the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class. I see His Grace Jagat Sakshi Prabhu on the call. Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my obeisances. All good, Shri
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna.
Thank you so much for coming and serving the class, Prabhu. This is one of the benefits of COVID. We would have never met if it wasn't for COVID. So we're very happy to have you on our little sangha here. So I'll just give a small introduction to Prabhu and I'll just hand it over. Many people have joined, and everybody may not be aware. So Jagat Sakshi Prabhu is the temple president of ISKCON Trivandrum in Kerala, which is an important state in India. He's also the chairman of ISKCON Kerala, and he's been preaching Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and he's very well known in India for his Bhagavad pravachans and his classes on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And so for the past 5 years, he's become everybody likes his class so much that he's been able to speak on Janam TV, which is, I'm to understand, is a very big news channel, which he goes regularly, and he speaks Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita in the language. And he's also included in this. Maybe if we're lucky enough, he has also served as a menial servant and custodian of an ancient Krishna temple, which is over 500 years old in the city of Tiruvalla. So if we're lucky enough, Prabhu will share something about that. So Prabhu, now it's 8 o'clock here on the East Coast of the United States. Prabhu will speak for approximately till 9, and then we'll have some question and answer after that. So now we'll head it over to Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So shall we start, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyāsam Tato Jayamutiraye. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So happy to be among all these wonderful devotees. I personally don't know anyone from this platform. I am new here, and all the devotees are also very new to me. So today is the summary of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, chapter 4, and the verses from 1 to 13. So these are the some questions asked by Śaunaka ṛṣis to Sūta Gosvāmī. Very amazing that these people, these acharyas, many of them are not from Brahmanical and very high tutelage community. For example, as you all know, Vyasa's father is Parashara Muni, a very celebrated saint, and his mother was a fisherwoman. In the same way, Vyasa, and in the same way, Śukadeva Maharaj. Śukadeva Maharaj, actually Vyasa is not, Vyasadeva is not Śukadeva Maharaj's genetical father. Actually, Vyāsadeva has adopted Śukadeva Maharaj to be his son. Śukadeva Maharaj's mother was a tribal lady called Jabali. And nobody knows who exactly is Śukadeva Maharaj's father. Vyasa adopted him to be his son. And in the same way, the speaker of Bhagavatam here, Sūta Gosvāmī, is also son of Shudra. And it says that he has taken birth from a dog's womb, you know. So you can see none of them are from a Brahminical class or anything like that. So the qualification is not birth. The qualification is the eagerness and interest. Somewhere else it is also mentioned that ears are the most weaker as well as powerful senses of a human being. Very important among all the five senses. Ears are the very important one. Generally, people think eyes are very important. But ears are more important than eyes because the effect is severe. Imagine you visualize a picture where a person is stabbing another with a knife and there is no sound. We are just visualizing a picture. Somebody is stabbing someone and without sound. And in another instance, you don't see anything, but you hear a scream of a lady and somebody is trying to trouble her and stab her and she's screaming, save me, and all like that. And you can hear all kinds of cries. Which scenario will influence us the most? The sound. And it is also explained in some of our scriptures that ears are the first sense of a human being to function. Then other senses follow. So, a good listener is a very good student. A person who uses his ears more in a positive way. Ears are so powerful. That's why if we start listening to some garbage, and that influences a lot. So a smart spiritualist, an expert spiritualist will know how much to use his ears. So generally, sense control means it starts from ears. If you know, if we are very choosy about what to hear and what not to hear, how to hear and how not to hear, from whom we should hear and from whom we should not hear, then that person is very intelligent in spiritual life. And the famous quotation everyone speaks is about Socrates, and you must be knowing that. Socrates, that one of his friend came to and told Socrates that I wanted to tell you something very serious. It is about one of our friends. And he was going on every time, and somehow Socrates was avoiding the topic again and again. And one day this friend pushed him and he wanted to share. Then Socrates said, just answer me 3 questions. And if I am convinced, then I will listen to you. Okay, question number 1. The topic which you are going to discuss, is it going to benefit you in some way? Then he said, no, not exactly. I would like to share. Okay, will that topic benefit me? No, not at all. Is that topic going to benefit the whole community, humanity? He said, no. Then Socrates said, then I don't want to listen. very smart and intelligent in how to use our ears. It's very important for a spiritualist. So here we can see the purports in the shlokas. Prabhupada is glorifying the speaker as well as the listeners. They're very qualified. And they're shooting so many questions to Sūta Gosvāmī, the sages of Naimisharanya, Śaunaka ṛṣis. And the only qualification is they're very eager to hear. Which I am to be very honest, we can't hear more than 1 hour or 2, like 1.5 hours. To be very honest, we get bored. Even during this session, many of us would be thinking, okay, when this will get over, I can move on to something else. Quite natural. We don't have to act as something which we are not. But I am sure you all would have gone and watched a movie in the theaters. All of you must have seen movies. 3 hours, in India, sometimes longer movies. At any point of time, have we felt somewhere in between, it's too boring, yeah, let me walk out of the theater? Or, you become, after 20 minutes of the movie picture, you become very restless and you start scratching your head and picking your phone and, surfing in the phone or trying to call a friend. Never, it has never happened in our life. Even the worst movie, we sit fully focused for 2 hours and even more. That means we all can meditate on a topic. It is possible. Just interest, that is all. So 3 hours we are in samadhi. In the movie theater, the 3 hours we are in a samadhi. We pay full focus and attention. We are not even bothered about who is sitting behind me or right next to me. That means it's possible for human being. When Krishna says to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, when Śukadeva Maharaj speaks to Parikshit and he says, pay attention on a topic, that means it is possible. So what is the thing lacking? Just interest, that is all. Just eagerness. That's the only thing. We are not very deeply convinced that this topic is very highly useful for me. Somewhere in Padma Purana it is said, there are 4 things. If you constantly think on that topic, that subject, those 4 objects will appear in front of us. One is disease. Second is snake. Third is a ghost. And 4th is Vishnu. If you constantly think that I'm feeling uneasy, I have some problem with my stomach, I feel uneasy, I feel some kind of a pain on my right shoulder. If you constantly keep thinking again and again, then definitely that disease is going to appear. And second is snake and ghost. If somebody thinks of snake all the time, there are some people, some weaker-minded people, they regularly dream about snakes. They think of snakes again and again and again, and definitely they're going to see a snake or ghost. And the 4th element is Vishnu. If somebody is constantly thinking of Vishnu again and again and again, and definitely Vishnu is going to appear in front of him. So, it is just an interest. Just an interest. If you come to Mumbai, that suburban trains, that local trains, it is amazing, Each compartment will have some 200, 300 people hanging and, overcrowded. And the railway stations and the platforms are overcrowded. So many hundreds and thousands of people moving up and down. There are beggars on the platform. And if someone drops a coin, even in that such a huge noise, this beggar is simply focused on the coins. He can hear where the coin falls in between so much of noise. Samadhi, meditation. A pregnant mother goes into samadhi for 4-5 months. After 5th month, 6th month, the mother constantly thinks and meditates on the baby in her womb. She can't think about anything else. And that thought molds the consciousness of the baby inside the womb. So meditation is possible. We all can do that and attain samadhi. The only thing is, are we really interested? And the second question is, okay, if at all we do that, what are we going to benefit? Mind is an amazing thing. Actually, we have never tapped the energy of mind. We have not. I don't know whether you had this experience. You are going to a new place for the first time in life and you have never been there. But still, you know, yes, I know this room. I know this curtain. I know these people talking. I feel as though I have been in this picture earlier. We have some 10-15 devotees in this platform. Have you had any experience like this? If it's yes, please type in your chat box whether you had any this kind of experience. You're going for the first time a new place. You've never been there, but you feel, yes, I have been. Yes, Mr. Hari Ramesh, yes, and Sumitra Vasu, yes, Arbolai, Chaitanya Das, yes, many of you have that experience. Yes, somebody has answered deja vu, true. It is just a mystical term, a name given by people. But what it is exactly, right? How is that possible? And sometimes you will be traveling in a train, plane, bus, car, whatever it is, and you are drowsy and you'll be half sleeping, eyes are closed, and you will be shaking and sleeping, but you know everything that happens around you. Somebody getting up, picking their bags from the roof, and somebody walking inside. You know everything that's happening around you, but your eyes are closed and you're sleeping. How is that possible? Krishna says, Arjuna, raise above your mind. Uddharet atmanatmanam atmanam avasadayet atmaivahi atmano bandhur atmanam ripurat. Just raise above. The spirituality is not a simple thing. Intelligent devotees should learn to differentiate spirituality from the religious rituals. Religious rituals should spiritually purify us. If the religious rituals cannot spiritually purify us, then it is just rituals. We should know where the spirituality starts. The soul attaining its purity. And the moment soul starts attaining its purity, Krishna is just a call away. And the soul starts acting, reciprocating with Krishna. Yomam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pashyati, tasyaham na pranashyami, sachame na pranashyati. I am neither lost to him, nor he is ever lost to me. He can see me everywhere and I can see everything in him. And that is possible. And that is just the second level. Annamaya, Pranamaya. We normal devotees, we are all in Annamaya. It's just somewhere we are convinced that spirituality is good, Krishna consciousness is good, that's all. So we chant a few rounds and make sure everything is protected by Krishna and our journey goes safe, that's it. But it is an amazing thing when we go deeper and deeper into Krishna consciousness. the joy of mastering our senses, the joy of mastering the mind. Even material people have realized that. The famous Brooklyn Bridge, you all may know the story behind that bridge. Engineer started, his father started, and he could not complete it. And he handed over the whole the construction process to his son. And the son had a very strange disease. He was kind of paralyzed on the wheelchair, but he had burning desire to complete the Brooklyn Bridge. His wife was a village peasant's daughter, farmer's daughter. She doesn't know anything about engineering. And this man is on the wheelchair, but he had a burning desire to somehow complete the bridge, the first hanging bridge in the world. So he got his wife, just a simple lady from the village. And every day he used to touch her pulse. And slowly this simple lady, she learned the whole engineering and she built the Brooklyn Bridge, which is next to impossible. Nobody will believe this. But you can get the story in the net, how the Brooklyn Bridge was built. It's an amazing story. Material people have realized. I read recently an article, what is mean by phobia? Somebody are scared of height, somebody is scared of fire. If he has pushed someone in his previous life and that person has died or he died from this thing, and in the next lifetime he will have that phobia, fear of height, fear of fire, just the impression on soul. What an amazing discussion these sages are doing, sitting in Naimisharanya. And we think they are illiterate and they're not uncivilized. They have mastered their mind and senses. That is the greatest victory in this world. A man, if he can master his senses and mind, he can control anything and everything in this world. And Maharaja Dhruva proved it. Dhruva, by controlling his senses, the Devas ran to Brahma and said, Dhruva is doing severe penance and wind is not moving, the water is not, Panchabhutas, the 5 elements are stuck. Please do something. Then Brahma approached Lord Vishnu. So mastering the senses. And young age is the right age to do that. If we can master our senses and mind, that is the greatest victory, winning our own self. And the sages sitting in Naimisharanya and talking about all these things, about the planets and about cosmos, about comets. The shloka itself, he says, if you know that Jayadeva Kavi's Dashavatara Stotra, in that the word is used Dhumaketu. There is a word. I think when they're speaking about Vamana or Parashurama in Pralaya Payodhi, you can see this word called Dhumaketu. Dhumaketu means comets. They're talking about galaxies and comets and all kinds of things. The most refined talk, Krishna says, Vyavasayatmika buddhi yekeha kuru nandana bahu shakahi anantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. There are so many streams of knowledge in this world, all leads to hell. Only one refined, resolute knowledge that leads to me. Eke, Vyavasayatmika buddhi, ekeha kuru nandana. So if anybody simply sits down and chants Krishna's name and reads Krishna's book, he's the most intelligent person in this world. Because he's doing the topmost activity and there's nothing else beyond this. So the sages are asking Sūta Gosvāmī. Sūta, the word itself says, he's from a Shudra family. Sūta. But to him they are asking, and Śaunaka is the most intelligent Pandit, scholar, very elderly person. And he is asking this young boy. So we can see birth is not a criteria. Age is not a criteria. Just eagerness, desire. In Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada writes, a devotee, in a devotee's spiritual progress, the only investment is desire. If the person desires to progress, and nothing can stop him. So the Śaunaka ṛṣis are asking Sūta Gosvāmī, what was the reason why Narada did this? And why Vyāsa wrote? Why all these things? So in some other Purana, the real story of Narada is given. And it just proves that just consciousness, it's all everything. It's all that. In the first life, Narada, we all know that Narada in his previous life, he was a Dasi Putra, son of servant maid. And before that, he was a singer in Gandharva, in Indra's palace. His name was Upabarna, very celebrated singer. And he can sing and simply captivate the hearts of listeners. He can melt stones. Actually, music has got this kind of power. You know, it can influence the modes. You see the Western music, they sing, and by the end of the song, they start tearing their t-shirts and, you know, clothes, and they break the guitar. You know, a sattvic person turns into a demon by that music. But whereas the classical music of India, it will put you to sleep. That means the disturbed mind goes into a trance, into a peaceful nature. That's why you go to sleep. But when Western music, even the sleeping kid wakes up and breaks the guitar, tears the t-shirt, they go white. Shabda Brahma. The sound has got an influence. And that is why Krishna has packed himself in the holy name. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Nam bina kichu nahi kono ar chauda bhuvana mage. There is nothing superior than the holy name in the 14 planetary system. So here, Narada was asked, Upabarna was asked to sing. And he was singing. There was a festival going on in heaven, Indra's place, and he was singing. And at that time, few apsaras came to dance. You know, Urvashi, Rambha, Menaka, they all came to dance. So immediately Narada, somewhere in his consciousness, he wanted to impress those dancers, those apsaras, the beautiful ladies who came to dance. So immediately that raga and all went in a different direction, you know, was adding something extra. It happens even in our temple. Saturday and Sunday, temple is crowded. For evenings, the temple is crowded. In the daytime, mid-noon, nobody is there. Only the pujari does the arati. So when the pujari does arati in the mid-noon, he just does 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, goes off, finish, arati is over. But on Sunday, the arati is not over, never getting over. It's like going on and on and on, and the pujari is doing all dramatic this thing, right? So we just want to impress people. So Narada was feeling that, Upabarna was feeling that. So he was singing and he was trying to impress. So Brihaspati, the spiritual master of Devas, he realized and he cursed Upabarna. See, in your consciousness, the purity of consciousness is that matters. So it is a spiritual responsibility, a devotee's responsibility to maintain his consciousness in the state of purity. Because nobody will know what is going on inside you. Who, you know, we will be putting a nice show. Beautiful tilaka and kantimala, haribol, Prabhuji. Nobody will know our subtle body, right? So it is my responsibility. So Upabarna was thinking about these apsaras and he was singing, and Brihaspati became very upset. So Brihaspati cursed him to take birth as the servant maid's son. So it is consciousness. It's very important. You know, even if we are not able to maintain, we can really go and submit in front of Lord and say, Krishna, I am not able to maintain my internal purity. I am weak. Please bless me. And Krishna will bless. Instead of that, when we put up a show of a devotee, then Krishna doesn't like it. So Krishna accepts the consciousness. That's why even our society is called International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Krishna accepts whatever is there in our consciousness. There are many, many pastimes like that. There was one Alvar in South India in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. There was one Alvar, one of a great saint. Before becoming a saint, he was attached to a prostitute. He was a devotee at that time. He was not Alvar at that time, but he was a devotee. But he was very deeply attached to prostitute. And one day he was feeling restless because he was not able to meet that lady. He was very disturbed and very restless. Then he was praying to Krishna. Krishna, please, I can't control myself. I want to meet that lady and I don't have money to pay for her. And the deity of the village came in the form of a relative and gave the deity's ornaments to that devotee and said, use this money and go and satisfy yourself. Krishna paid money to that Alvar to go and meet a prostitute. Then after that, Krishna purified him. So, being honest, being internally pure, taking the responsibility of consciousness, purity of consciousness, these are the major duties of a spiritualist. It's completely his own responsibility. So here, the sages are asking questions one after another. So what is Narada? What made Narada like this? So Narada Muni realized a tiny flaw in consciousness can turn into a big danger. Because when he was Upabarna, the singer, he was singing Krishna's names. He was doing kirtan. But in his consciousness, he wanted to impress those apsaras. So from the next life, Narada became so alert, awakened consciously. Not even for a split second, his focus shifted from Krishna. He had an undivided focus at the lotus feet of Krishna, constantly chanting Krishna's name. Even though Purana says he's chanting Narayana, 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 our Vaishnavas has written, he sings Radha Krishna's name. Narada Muni, Bhajaya Vina, Radhika Ramana Nami. Constantly he's chanting Radhika Raman's name. He had an undivided focus. So now the simple question is, there are two kinds of devotees in Bhagavatam. One is like Gajendra, and the another is like Kunti Maharani. So Gajendra was praying that when his foot was in a crocodile's mouth and he was struggling to rescue himself and he was screaming and praying to Krishna so that he will be relieved. Whereas Kunti Maharani, she is praying in a different way. Vipataha Shantuta Shashvat Tatra Tatra Jagadguru Bhavato Darshanam Yarhi Apunar Bhava Darshanam Krishna. Vipataha, I have seen problems and accidents in my life. Vishan, Mahagane, when my children were eating food, they fed poison. They were thrown in fire. They, ghosts and goblins and demons were sent out after them. When they were sleeping, the whole house was set in fire. And on top of all this, my daughter-in-law was disrobed in an assembly. how much a mother can tolerate in her life. Her children were fed with poison and disrobed, insulted, sent away from kingdom to the jungle, and that with a trap. 12 years in jungle and 1 year incognito. They have to hide, and if they are caught, again 12 years. It's a trap. How much a mother can tolerate. But Krishna, I was going through all these problems. Vipataha Santuta Shashvat. Permanently, I was going from one problem to another to another. Tatra tatra Jagat Guru Bhavato Darshanam Yarhi. But one thing, Krishna, amidst the problem, when I cry, you are there in front of me. And if you can promise me that once again, I am ready to face that problems again. This is the prayer of Kunti. Kunti is saying, Krishna, you can give me any amount of problems, but promise me in the problems when I'm calling, you should be there in front of me. And another is Gajendra praying to Krishna, Krishna, please relieve me from problems. So many of us are devotees so that our health is taken care, family is protected, all our ambitions are met with, life is successful, my life should be taken care very well. So, my dear devotees, it's a simple question. Are we like Gajendra or like Kunti Maharani? You can answer in your chat. Are we like Gajendra or are we like Kunti Maharani? In what state are we? All right? Yes. It's very difficult to be in Kunti's state. Yes, true. Many of us are like Gajendra. We are simply devotees so that everything is protected. But there is a different level. What is the difference between devotees like us and acharyas? In the dvandva, the dualities of this world, labha, nashta, jaya, jayo, profit, loss, summer, winter, rain and cold, and the whole world is created by dualities. When there is a misery, we pray to Krishna. Suddenly tomorrow I am promoted in my job. Immediately I say, Krishna, thank you so much for your blessings. When I am fired from my job, I think that is bad. But Dvandva is the nature of this world. We like punya and we don't like papa. When punya comes, immediately we think it is Krishna's blessings. And when papa comes, we think it's not good. But acharya is a person. Pure spiritualists are those people who accept both papa and punya with the same frequency. When Rupa Goswami's father, Sanatan Goswami's father, when he came to know that both his sons became Prime Minister of Nawab Hussain Shah, he took water and sprinkled on himself and chanted Ganga, Ganga, Ganga. My sons have become impure. They're working under a meat eater. He was, imagine suddenly you get a news that your son becomes the Prime Minister of India. What you will think? Oh my God, what kind of papa has fell on my head? Will we think like that? We will think it's a blessing. But Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami's father didn't think like that. He thought, my sons are working under a meat eater. What kind of a impious life it is? So Acharya, the pure spiritualists are those people who see papa and punya, profit, loss, victory, defeat, everything equally. But we are just beginners. When we get something good materially, we thank Krishna. When there is a test, immediately we get upset. Devotion is something to do with our consciousness and mind. This program and this process will enter deep within and repair ourselves and make us pure. Not external purity, consciously pure. One day Krishna and Arjuna, they were going on a chariot and they both are very good friends. Sakha, Saketi in Bhagavad Gita it says. very deep, thick friends, and they were talking and talking and talking, and they forgot, they were traveling in the chariot for hours and hours. They left the city, they went out in the outskirts of the city, and suddenly Arjuna realized, Krishna, we have come so far from the town, and I'm very hungry. What to do? It's a long way to go back, and we are in jungle. There is no one here, right? Then Arjuna said he's hungry. Then Krishna said, okay, let us see something if we can get here in the jungle. And they saw one old lady's hut was there. One old lady, and she had one cow, and that's all her possession is. So they both, Krishna and Arjuna, they both said they're hungry. And the lady became so happy. Krishna, I'm chanting your names every day. And every day I bow down to you. So happy that you have come to my place. And she ran and milked the cow and gave Krishna and Arjuna milk, and both of them drank milk. And they were very satisfied, and they came. On the way back, Arjuna asked Krishna, what blessings you gave to that old lady? She satisfied us. She did a wonderful service. We were really hungry, and she fed us milk. So Krishna said, I blessed that her only cow should be dead by evening, by today evening. And Arjuna was like taken aback. What? It's cruel. You are not fair. My Lord, she fed us. She satisfied. Imagine if she was not there, what would be our situation? What kind of blessings have you given? Then Krishna smilingly said, the attachment to the cow is the only thing which is holding her from liberation. And I blessed her by cutting it off. So actually, we don't know what is really good for us. We are all stuck in raga dvesha, attachment and aversion. I like black color, I don't like green color. I like this prasad, I don't like that prasad. I like this devotee, I don't like that devotee. I like this dress, I don't. So why? There is no answer. Raga dvesha vimuktaishu vishayan indriyais. We are all trapped like that. Only a refined, resolute intelligence can save us. By Krishna's blessings, we are all in this track of spirituality. It's a great blessings upon us. So, dear devotees, please use this wonderful opportunity. Millions of people in this universe, they don't have this opportunity. Only for very special ones, very, very small percentage, they are blessed with Krishna Bhakti. So please continue your program. Please continue your chanting. There will be difficulties. There will be challenges. It is quite natural. But please somehow continue your sadhana, reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, chanting, associating, spreading this message to others. And many of you would be doing that already. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Hare Krishna, Jagat Sakshi Prabhu. Thank you so much for the wonderful lecture. We learned a lot today. So if anybody has a question or a comment, they may raise their hand and I will unmute. I see Rupa Mataji. She has, so I will unmute her.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question. So how do we get this undivided attention when we are living in this Kali Yuga, even though we are into Krishna consciousness? How to get that? The story that you said about Narada Muni, how he has got that undivided attention, focus at the lotus feet of Krishna. So even when we are doing some chores, how will we keep our consciousness still on Krishna?
Yeah, a good question. So Krishna consciousness is not like a one-day program or a month program. Does any of the devotees in this gathering, satsang, got a plan to retire from Krishna Bhakti by the age of 50? Okay, I will chant till I'm 50. Once I'm 50, I will retire from Bhakti. I don't think anybody has got a plan to retire from Bhakti. So this program is our lifetime program. So right now, there are so many things. As you said, our devotion is all divided. Many of us are highly attached to wealth, health, so many things, family. Sometimes we are so attached, we are so sensitive about our ego that people should appreciate me, never, they should not neglect me, and I should be given importance, I should be recognized, I should be accepted. All kinds of combinations we are. But as we chant, the sadhana alone, same hammering that nail again and again and again and again. There is a famous statement of Bruce Lee, that martial artist. He once said, I am not scared of a person who knows 1,000 skills. I am scared of that opponent who practices the same skill 1,000 times.
Again and again.
Yes. So, simple program, our sadhana. We keep doing it for years and years and years. Gradually, the 3 stages of coconut, the tender coconut, and are you from South India?
Yes.
Which part of South India?
West Godavari, Bhimavaram.
Oh, Andhra, Telangana. Okay.
Andhra.
I don't know what you call that, the dry coconut. What do you call in Telugu, the dry coconut?
Kobbari.
Obri, obra, okay, whatever it is.
Kobbari.
See, when it is tender, how much ever you try to scratch the coconut pulp, something is sticking on there, still in the shell. And when it becomes coconut, okay, you can put little energy and you can take it out. But when it becomes that obri, the coconut automatically separates itself from the shell. Right? In the same way, same chanting again and again and again and again. Right now, we may be in tender coconut stage, I like chanting also, I like money also, I would like to color my brown hair also, I would like this also, I would like that. We like everything around us. We are in the tender coconut stage, but we keep doing that again and again and again. And one day, the soul, even though it is inside this body, it will be completely separated from all attachments in this world, like that obri out of that shell. And that day, we will say Krishna, and the soul will go back to the lotus feet of Krishna. So just waiting, it may take years. That's one lifetime. It may take 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And every day is a lesson. We learn new things, we get disappointed in different directions in this world, depression, disappointment, we get hurt, and all these are lessons. The more I get hurt, the more strong I become spiritually. Disappointments and all. You tell me one personality in Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Bhagavat who has never met disappointment, never disturbed, or went through problems. Tell me one personality who had not gone through problems in Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Bhagavat. Sumitra from Ramayana? Okay. Her son was in jungle for 14 years. Will mother be happy? Everyone went through challenges. And the test in spiritual life is just making us stronger. Suppose you have a son or daughter studying in some school. How do we know whether he has studied properly or not? Only through exams and tests. So tests in the life are really helping us. So please don't worry, you are in the right track. Keep doing this again and again and again. And one day, like that obri, we will be separated from this material world. Is that clear, Mataji?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Bless us all, Prabhuji.
Oh, praise.
Hare Krishna. We have next Sumitra Mataji. She has raised her hand.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very
Yes.
much. I was reading the Japa book by Burijana Prabhu, and it said that there is a verse in Bhagavatam, I don't know where it is from, which chapter, but the mind is the manifestation of goodness and the intelligence is a manifestation of passion. But in real life, it feels the opposite. When we read a purport of Prabhupada, there's a lot of clarity, but that is very fleeting. As like an ocean sweeping away the waves, the intelligence is carried away, and then 1 hour later, we are doing something that we never sought out to do. So it doesn't feel like the mind is the mode of goodness and intelligence of passion. So how do we reconcile that?
Yeah, even I have not heard this. I have heard the other way, that intelligence is superior to mind. That is what we have heard from Bhagavad Gita and all the scriptures. I don't know in what context that explanation is given. So only if I refer the book, I will be able to say this, because I don't know it ready. So I'll do one thing. I'll just refer this exactly and send my answer to Mr. Ramesh Prabhu, because I have not read that context, because generally we all have heard that intelligence is superior to mind. So when you're saying the other, then we have to refer and get back to you. Sorry, I don't know the answer.
No worries, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any other comments or questions? Now is the time to raise your hand or unmute yourselves. I think I gave you guys the power to unmute.
I have.
Okay, Naveen Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
I also thank you very much, Prabhu. Before I want to say something, thank you, Jagat Sakshi Prabhu. Wonderful, wonderful way to start the day-to-day Bhagavatam. And also, Prabhupada said, it's very difficult to preach in 2 areas. One is in Bengal, other is in Kerala. So there's a lot of communism and other influences there. I really want to thank devotees of Srivendram, somehow managing this ISKCON there. I really want to visit one day. Thank you, because I know what's happening. Like, a lot of things are happening, but somehow still you're striving to serve Prabhupada's mission. Thank you very much. Second thing, I did heard in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam also. Yes, in hierarchy, intelligence is higher, subordinates is a mind, but intelligence is in passion, mind is in goodness. There's the 2 categories. Hierarchy, intelligence comes in the top, but mode of goodness and passion in ignorance. Mind comes because mind is a Krishna's energy. Of course, intelligence also is energy, but in hierarchy of energy, the mind comes a higher. Bhagavad Gita is also in Bhagavad Gita. So my question, Prabhu. So you hit a wonderful point. I took some notes. Out of that, the 2 points which I want, if you can explain. One is, so they gave an example of shell. This is kobbari. I'm also from Telugu, so it's a kobbari. So attachment to Krishna automatically, if you keep doing it, detachment automatically comes. But sometimes we also hear the devotees, the detachment also practice. So the detachment practice is actually sometimes object may not be Krishna. Yes, focus is detachment. But if you focus on Krishna and keep doing it, like I just said, this keep standing, reading, whatever things. Detachment. Very beautiful. Keep doing what you do. Automatically, the time comes. You automatically get it. You don't even know that when it is dry, it comes out of the shell. Would like to express some like.
Prabhuji, there are, as you rightly said, one is the process is very powerful and purifying. So the process itself will definitely take us to goal, towards Krishna. But Krishna again and again said in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, Arjuna, use your intelligence also. So when a devotee is very sharp and he applies his intelligence also, not completely leaving the whole thing to the process and keeping quiet, his his progress will be very fast. Not only that, he will be able to help others also. Otherwise, he leaves everything to the process alone. It takes a longer time and he can worry about only himself. He can't help others. So that is why when we say about acharyas and our gurus and the spiritual powerful personalities, you can see Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, they were so sharp and things from their very young age itself. For example, Madhvacharya, he went and told his father at the age of 11, he said, I want to be a sannyasi. Then father said, no, you are our only son. How can we permit you? You know, we need you. You cannot take sannyas. And this 11-year-old boy, he walked all the way some 20 kilometers to Ananta Vasudev temple and meditated for 3 continuous days, prayed there. And when he came back home, his elderly mother, quite elderly, she was pregnant. You know, so he said, okay, now you are going to get a second son, so I will go and take sannyas. Then father started crying, weeping, said, no, my son, you can't go, and fell at son's feet, Madhvacharya's feet. Then smilingly Madhvacharya said, my dear father, as you are elder to me, father should never touch son's feet unless the son is a sannyasi. So by touching my feet, you have already granted me permission. That all that conversation with Madhvacharya, Raman, in the young age, when we read that, how sharp and how spiritually inclined they were. So when we are intelligent, using our mind and intelligence, everything in Krishna consciousness, then the progress becomes faster. Then we will be able to help others also. Otherwise, we will be pious devotees. Like in India, many people, they chant, get up early morning at 3 o'clock, 3:30. I know personally so many people, they wake up at 3:30. You know, for the last 40 years, they have not missed even one single day. And Bhagavatam, 18,000 shlokas, they know upside down. And they chant Narayana. But they are not fully getting into the meaning of Bhagavatam and what Prabhupada said and what Mahaprabhu said. So they are devotees, but the process is progress in a different way. So what I personally feel is, as you rightly said, when we use our intelligence, then the progress is faster and it really helps others also. Hope I touched the answers what you expected, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Next question is from Sadbud Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
It's a very excellent presentation. I really became a fan of you when I heard the first one, the Ramayana series in, I think, Abu Dhabi or Kuwait. Since then, I am like very much interested in your classes and everything. Unfortunately, that one of the class was missing in that series. One session was missed out.
Okay.
So, Prabhu, my question is, I don't know whether did I hear properly, like when you're saying Śukadeva Maharaj is the adopted son of Vyāsadeva, because I never heard about it. Can you please explain more on that?
Yeah, Śukadeva Maharaj's mother is a tribal lady called Jabali. She fell in love with somebody and she became pregnant and they rejected, some kind of a story. So this tribal pregnant lady, she came and took shelter of Vyāsadeva. Vyāsadeva is not direct father of Śukadeva. So when the baby was in the womb, as Bhagavatam says and other Purana says, at the end of 5th month, the baby awakes. Till that time, the baby is in sleeping dormant state. By the end of 5th month, the baby awakes and Śukadeva, Vyāsadeva starts speaking Bhagavatam. It is also proved the baby in the womb listens. In Mahabharata, when Krishna and Arjuna were discussing Chakravyuha, Abhimanyu was in mother's womb. Prahlad heard whole Bhagavatam from the womb of Kayatu. So Śukadeva Maharaj heard, and such a pure person, he immediately differentiated what is matter and spirit. He realized that I don't want to get entangled again in this material world, taking birth, death, you see the cockroaches and ants crawling on the wall, and there is a husband cockroach and the wife cockroach, and they sing song, then they have baby cockroaches. Do we pay any attention to them? So human life that is all in front of Devas. So he said, I'm not coming out. 16 years he stayed in mother's womb, and Vyasa is begging every day and he is not coming out. At that time, Krishna was ruling in Dwaraka. So Vyāsadeva went and requested Krishna to come, and Krishna came and said, okay, Śukadeva, you can come out. I promise you, you will be never touched by matter. This material world will never influence. When Krishna gave a word, Śukadeva came out, and he was a 16-year-old boy, and he came out and he just walked away, left his father. So that is the story of Śukadeva. So his mother was a tribal lady, Jabali. I don't know whether you have seen the Krishna art book, a big book with all ISKCON paintings. If you go through that book, you will get the whole story there of Śukadeva Gosvāmī in that book.
Okay.
Is that clear, Prabhu? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. If time permits, I want to ask one more question, Prabhu. I think Hari, he is next. So let him finish.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I have the next question. So in one of the previous answers, you were saying that that be patient with bhakti, because it takes, it's not a one-day process, and it's not a process where we retire from. We're not, it's not that after 80 we're done. But I want to see what you thought about the two dynamics of, one is be patient with bhakti. It's not going to come very fast. But then there's also the sense of urgency that that we are in, like Gajendra, if we told Gajendra, just be patient. It'll come. But my foot is in the crocodile's mouth. I need at least a time frame. I need a time frame. So I was wondering how to balance this, be patient and also have urgency. So that's my question.
Yeah, Prabhu. So be patient means be patient to the reactions of this material world. The material world will test you, examine you, disappoint you. There you be patient. But in your spiritual practices of sadhana, reading, you can show urgency. You can be really fast, right? So be patient means, it doesn't mean that we are very patient in the process. We become like, that's a beautiful shloka in Bhagavatam. It says how Jatabarta was, when they were coming to chop him, when all the hunt, they took him, he never reacted. But in his own sadhana, he was very perfect. So be patient to the reactions of this material world. And in your personal sadhana, you can be really fast, smart. You can show all your urgency, everything. Is that clear, Prabhu?
Yes, that's clear. That's clear, Prabhu. I think Sadhu Chaitanya Prabhu has one question, and I think Ramesh Prabhu he would have some concluding thoughts if nobody else has any questions. So Sadhu Chaitanya Prabhu, you can go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry again, and this is little off topic, and because as I said, like one of the series in that Ramayana session was missed out, and I didn't get the answer for one question it was asked. Like, if there is a only daughter in the family and there is no sons, how do who should do the Shraddha? That's what the question it was asked in the series. But the next series was missed out. I don't know the answer. Just want to curious about that.
There is a temple in Tamil Nadu, Tanjavur. Even today, Lord goes on a palanquin and does Shraddha for an elderly Brahmana on the bank of river Kaveri. So one day this Pujari went and told Krishna that I'm 80-year-old now. And if I die tomorrow, who will do my final rites? Then Krishna said, what happened to your son? And the elderly Brahmana said, no, I didn't marry. And Krishna asked him, why? Who told you to not marry? You should have married in time. And he said, I was busy building your Rajagopuram, the main tower, you know. I forgot about my marriage. By the time I finished the tower, I became too old to get married. So this was a beautiful conversation. And even today, Krishna goes and does final rites. So if somebody doesn't have son, they can always worship Krishna. That is the song written by Vallabhacharya. I don't know whether it's Vallabhacharya. It is called Mukundashtakam. I don't know who exactly wrote. In that it is there. Kararavindena padaravindam padaravindena viniveshayantam vatasya patrasya pudeshayanam Bhalam Mukundam Manasa Smarami. Accepting Mukunda as our son, you know. So if somebody doesn't have son, they can always accept Krishna as their son. And son-in-law can do the final rites, grandson can do the final rites. They can also do. If nobody is there, devotees can do for that person. You know, every year in Mayapur, Ganga Sagar Mela, so many sannyasis, they go and do final rites for many devotees around the world. So devotees can do in this way. Is that clear, Prabhu?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
It was been like almost like 3-4 years back I heard that, and I didn't have the answer for that. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Ramesh Prabhu, I think Gayatri Maji is raising her hand.
Okay, yeah. So and
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I just wanted to add to what Sadbhuta Chaitanya Prabhu was saying, that in Kerala, it's a place that's very close to, it's in Trivandrum, but it's kind of like a little bit away from the city center. It's called Thiruvallam. And there's a temple of Parashurama over there. And it's kind of rare, I think, to have a temple of Parashurama. In that temple of Parashurama, it's famous for for people doing the Shraddha, the last rites for any of their relatives and parents and children who have died. And in that temple, anybody can do the final rite. So women, any kind of relatives, anyone can do the final rites. They just have to know the name of the person and the star under which he was born.
Yeah.
That's all. I didn't have a question.
That's true. And our ISKCON temple is just 4 kilometers from that temple which you mentioned. So ISKCON Trivandrum temple is very close to that place.
Yeah, I didn't know that ISKCON had a temple in Trivandrum until I came here to this temple over here. So I'm really, the next time I go, I really want to visit that. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Please do come. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, any final questions? Or Ramesh Prabhu would like to take the last word? I see many people from many different places. So welcome everybody. New Vrindavan is here, and Cleveland is here, and California is here. So many different places. So I don't see any more hands. So Ramesh Prabhu, you can take it over.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Really, I don't know how last 1 hour it passed, like it just flew actually. So, and we're really thankful that such a short notice you are able to come, and happy Sankranti to you. And thank you, Prabhu. And a lot of people have sent good wishes. There is one Karuna Sindhu Prabhu. You know him. I think you mentored him, Prabhu. Yeah. So he sent his best wishes. And definitely I would thank Kṛṣṇa Prabhu from New Jersey, who actually gave me your contact. So I'm very much grateful to him. And and you should, I need one promise, that you should be coming regularly to our class and giving us the enthusiasm, so that we started this initiative. And I'm really appreciative of everybody reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam on a very regular basis.
Ramesh Prabhu,
yes.
Check with Jagat Sakshi Prabhu for Sunday fees, because Bhagavatam class is limited people, Prabhu. Sunday fees, the more people. Usually, if you're available, maybe in the future we can.
Only thing is that we need to work out the timing, Prabhu, because the
Yes.
India timings. So that's the only
If
thing.
it works out, grateful. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. We'll keep in touch. Thank you very much, Prabhu. I don't want to take more of your time. And if anybody has any other questions, they can always contact Hari or myself, and we can discuss with Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hari Bol, we'll end with Vaishnava pranams.
Yeah, 1 minute, Hari. I just wanted to introduce Prabhu, since you are new to this congregation, just wanted to introduce Navin Krishna Prabhu also. He is one of our oldest congregation members. So he is one of the person who actually started the temple here and all those things. So he's been there with us for a very, very long time. So just wanted to. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I didn't start it, but it was there. But I was there.
Thank you, Naveen Prabhu. Thank you, Ramesh Prabhu. Thank you to all the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. We'll end with Vaishnava pranams. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. His Grace Jagat Sakshi Prabhu ki jai. Everybody can unmute themselves and give 3 big Haribols.
Haribol! Haribol!
Haribol!
Thank you so much, Jagat.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Hari, for organizing this.
It's Ramesh Prabhu, actually, from his contact.
Thank you, Ramesh Prabhu. Then.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sri Rupa Prabhu.
Unmute.
And Gopika Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Sri Rupa Prabhu was tempting me with all that Mahaprasadam. He showed me all that Mahaprasadam.